Y'all remember when The Game came out? I'm talking about the rapper The Game. Y'all remember when The Game first came out? Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. And I'm gonna shine, homie, until my heart stop. Go ahead and envy me. I'm rap's MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you can get to know me. Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. You know, I haven't listened to that song in years, but that hook is still stuck in my head. Right now is a lot going on. Listen, you got Shannon Sharp, you got P. Diddy situation. They just threw Smokey Robinson in the mix, and then you got The Game over here. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into the topic. Thank you. A judge has ordered rapper The Game to sell his house to pay for a sexual assault accusation that was made against him that he lost in a civil trial. Damn. You know, it seems to be a pattern. Like all these famous black men with money are being taken down by women with accusations. Shannon Sharp right now is looking at $50 million lawsuit. The great Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson has credit for over 4,000 songs. Smokey Robinson is a Hall of Famer, both as a writer and as a performer, singer. Smokey Robinson, you talking about Motown Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson right now is looking at a $50 million lawsuit as well with multiple women. And then you got P. Diddy and P. Diddy's case. Watching the rise and then what looks like the fall of P. Diddy, or the entanglement of P. Diddy at least. I mean, you can't help but to think to yourself, right, that it's time that these men, especially black men with fame and money, they better start, I don't know if I should say settle down, get you a wife, raise a family, stay exclusive. Because even then, your wife down the road can divorce you, take half of everything you have or even more, and then sue you and come up with some accusations of abuse and rape and all this other stuff. So even so, but I think the chances are less of that happening if you actually settle down for a minute, get married, chill out. But they out here playing around and they playing wild, and then it's coming back to bite them in the ass. So the rapper, The Game, Jason Terrell Taylor, better known by his stage name, The Game, has now been ordered by a judge to sell his multi-million-dollar Southern California mansion to pay back a woman who accused him of sexual assault. Damn. Can you imagine that? Somebody can accuse you. No proof needed, just accuse you. And you go to court and they look at you and they be like, yeah, he's a rapper. He's 6'4". He's 250 pounds. He got a lot of tattoos all over him. He speaks in a lot of Ebonics. He looks like the type that would take it. She go to court. She says, yeah, he took it. They say, sell your mansion and give her the money. Damn. Lost his mansion that quick. Now, I don't know if The Game is deeply entrenched in real estate, invested his money over the years when he was making a lot of money, because I know for sure he ain't making that much money right now, not like what he was making before at least. Does he have a lot of money now? What's his net worth today? A true value of his net worth today? He pushing 45, actually he's 45 years old. He's pushing 46, that's close to 50. And now you're losing your mansion? Damn. Over some coochie? Damn. So, The Game, he was sued in 2015. And I remember back in 2015 where he was pretty nonchalant about it, because he was more like, I'm not giving you shit. You not getting nothing from me because I ain't do nothing. You trying to come up off me, pretty much. Not exact words, but pretty much his demeanor was like that, right? And the girl was more like, oh, okay, you'll see. I bet you I get you to come up off some millions. He like, go ahead. I bet you won't. Well, in 2015, Priscilla Rainey alleged that the game inappropriately touched her during the production of his VH1 reality series, She's Got Game, on which she was a contestant. So this crazy thing is, that was his show, partnered with VH1, and she was a contestant on the show. So if She's Got Game got a bunch of women that come in to be contestants, usually it'll be females who find the rapper to be attractive and possibly want to end up with him because they had to date him on the She's Got Game, right? The end result would be whoever had him or got him to commit to them, everybody would have been like, okay, she got game. All puns intended. So the rapper denied the allegations, but because he failed to appear in court for the 2016 trial or any related hearings to it, it led to a default judgment. I don't know why he did that, but like I said, I remember back in 2015 when it first popped off, when he was like, I'm not paying that shit no mind. That ain't nothing. And she can't get no money. I guess the game was living in his own fantasy world thinking, I'm lawyered up. I'm well protected. And nobody is going to believe her story anyways. Well, you know, in the United States of America, that's how the court system works. You better show up. If you don't show up, then the other side could possibly win. For instance, there was somebody who recently won a $100 million judgment against Sean P. Diddy Combs from inside of a prison with some false accusations. Diddy ain't never been around this man, ain't never met this man. The man said he told an elaborate story about how he was dicking down some females right in front of Diddy, and Diddy started squeezing his ass, and he was like, hey, yo, man, I ain't into all that. I'll put it on her right here in front of everybody, but I'm not with what you with. And Diddy said, okay, then, my bad, and went and fixed him a drink, and he drank it. And next thing he knew, he ends up in the bed, waking up the next morning, coming out of Diddy's bed with his back parts hurting. And he's like, what happened? And Diddy is sitting next to him smiling, saying, I told you I was going to get it one way or another. And won $100 million. Yo, but Diddy's lawyers jumped on it and said, hey, we were never notified of this case. If we did, we would have attended to it, right? So they actually were successful in getting that judgment to be withdrawn, turned over. Now, Rainey, in Game's case, Rainey was awarded $1.13 million in compensatory damages for the alleged assault and an additional $6 million in punitive damages. I don't know who the hell these judges are, but $7 million because a man touched you, even if he did, right? $7 million. Now, I'm not saying he's right if he did. If you touch somebody, male or female, and it's against their wills or wishes, then you are dead ass wrong. But $7 million? Sometimes I think they just want to shake these black men down because they got a lot of money already and they feel like they either don't deserve it or shouldn't have it. And this is just an opportunity to take it all away from him. $7 million. She complained about being inappropriately touched. Now, following years of the game failing to make payments, because the game said, I ain't paying shit, a judge approved Rainey's request because she went back to court and she said, listen, he's not paying the money. A court judgment was made and I'm not getting the checks. I'm not able to get to my newfound lifestyle. He's not paying up. The judge said, oh, really? He's not. Okay, so he thinks he's just big and bad and he's just going to ignore the court's order. Well, the judge then sided with Rainey, approved Rainey's request that the rapper sell his Calabasas home in order to help to finance the more than $7 million in judgment that she was awarded. So right now, the game is losing his California Calabasas home. That sucks. Taylor fought back, or should I say, the game fought back against the ruling, insisting that because his home is his primary residence, it is protected under California's homestead exemption. Oh man. The court, however, found that the game does not have a qualifying interest in the property that would allow him to claim a homestead exemption. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that he probably lives somewhere else and he spends more time at that other property than he does at this one? Well, the judge says, therefore, the court does not reach the question of whether he has met his burden of proof that he has continuously resided at the property. Okay. Well, what that means is he spends more time somewhere else than he does at that property, so it doesn't qualify as his home. The 4-bedroom, 5-bathroom property is currently valued at $4,009,800,000, according to Zillow, where Zillow does real estate and they list properties for sale. So they have all the legal paperwork to do, or they can go look in the system and see how much it was last sold for, or how much the current market value is once evaluated, etc. And they gave it I would say a $4.98 million worth. That's how much his house is worth right now. Now, it's described as a gated 2+ acre estate with views of the Canyon and Santa Monica Mountains. It also comes with a casita and its own private tennis court, a luxury property. When Rainey, the woman who accused the game, first came forward with her accusations, the game vehemently denied them on social media. He said, man, I don't know shit what she talking about. Writing, don't be fooled by these accusations or the dollar amount in the headlines, because I put that on my favorite auntie poodle. This broad ain't getting shit, is what he actually said. Don't be fooled by these accusations or the dollar amount in the headlines, because I put that on my favorite auntie's poodle. This broad ain't getting shit. See, there's some things that you can deal with in the streets, and then there are just some things that you need to go get an attorney to deal with for you. And honestly, I wish the game had gotten an attorney. Pay up the money and have the attorney deal with this situation for you instead of ignoring it the way he did. Because he ignored it from day one. From day one, he said, this bitch lying. She ain't getting nothing. I don't give a fuck what she does. I don't care how many times she goes to court. I guess he didn't think that this kind of verdict would be possible. So every girl on the show will tell you, I never touched this chick or ever desired to be anywhere near her, is what he said. She got kicked off the show, and as a result of her getting kicked off the show, she filed this lame lawsuit, which was probably her intention before the show was ever even started. Those were the game's words. And I wish he had went to court with an attorney so an attorney could say, listen, he was never interested in her. The show was supposed to be about a bunch of girls that are interested in him, and he's interested in them, and he's going to find the best match for himself, and that would be the winner of the show. He quickly let her go off the show. He was not interested in her, and she somehow felt scorned, and then she filed this lawsuit after. That would have been simple for an attorney to handle. Instead of you writing about your damn auntie's poodle and your dead auntie's poodle and all this other stuff and she ain't getting shit. How do you risk so much? You have so much means you have a lot to lose. You got your $4.8998 million mansion to lose. You got money in the bank to lose. You make money when you do shows and appearances and sponsorships and collaborations, etc. They can garnish your wages. But I think when you're from the hood and you're not that much educated, but you try to pretend to be, then you walk yourself down that slippery slope until this happens. So he said every girl on that show would tell you that I never touched that chick or even desired to be anywhere near her. She got kicked off the show as a result of as a result of that, she filed this lame ass lawsuit, which was probably her intentions before the show even started. Now, I heard rumors that they actually had footage of him trying to get with her. Like you could see in the footage that he wanted her really bad, and that he tried to kiss her in the footage, and because she didn't suck up to it and be a groupie and let him have his way with her, is when she was kicked off the show. Now in 2020, the game took to social media again to say what he had to say about Rainey, the female who made the accusations. People out here dying from the Rona, and blogs out here creating false narratives for this Waffle House roach who doing anything her thirsty ass can to try to take money from me. Let me repeat that for y'all again. He said, people out here are dying from, because you got to understand, this was 2020. Corona was out. The coronavirus was going. We in lockdown, all that. He said, people out here dying from the Rona, and blogs out here creating false narratives for this Waffle House roach. That's what he called her. A Waffle House roach who doing anything her thirsty ass can to try to take some money from me. That's what he wrote. I'm enjoying retirement, he said. Y'all been saying she got $7 million for 7 years now. And yet, here I am, laid up, tipsy off my 5th quarantine, watching Tiger King. LOL. Well, haha. They were saying she got 7 mil for 7 years and she didn't get anything. Well, guess what, homie? She ended up with that judgment, and it seems like the system is going to make you pay her that 7 mil. Damn. Again, like I said, that's a hell of a lot of money to pay for touching somebody, albeit an accusation. I wasn't there, so I don't know. So if he did it, was an inappropriate touch, an unwanted touch, but $7 million? One person said if he had game, he wouldn't be in this. This wouldn't be the result, the outcome. But seriously, go to court. Respect the process. The odds were actually in his favor monetarily and resource-wise. Never contempt the court. And this is where he made his biggest mistake at. He acted like he was bigger than the law. Another person says, man, this is getting out of hand. All it takes is for someone to accuse you and your life is ruined. You lose all your stuff. This is as if, what happened to if you're guilty or not? Another person says, it's gotten to the point that if you're a rich and famous man, you have to use a body cam everywhere you go. Literally a body cam, like the body cam the police use, including in the bedroom. It's the only way to be safe from these gold diggers, because they will stop at nothing to get to your millions, including they will finish your reputation. They will tarnish your reputation and they will finish you. Another person says $7 million for touching her? This is crazy. I thought he raped her. Another person says, okay, he failed to show up in court. This guy is an Einstein. And another person says she hated it and didn't love it. At this point, every single wealthy or famous person is going to have every woman sign a document to consensual relations. It's gotten out of hand. It seriously has gotten out of hand. And the last person says, look, but don't touch. Now he has to sell his house. Really? He should have appeared in court. It is always these things that gets more attention than the things that actually really matter the most. This is happening more and more. And honestly, it needs to stop. Lawsuits are celebrities' occupational hazard. It's funny, you decide not to show up to court, and what do you think will happen? Same thing happened to Dion's son. Not the brightest set of people. You have to show up. I guarantee you, if he had showed up to court, he would have won this case hands down. But because he didn't show up and he did not respect the judicial process, now this woman is looking to skate off with $7 million. Damn. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'll close this video by saying this. If you get into the paper out there, my brothers, be super, super careful, because if one touch can get $7 million taken from you to where you're selling a mansion you own to pay somebody, you should know how serious it is. And again, I only wish, because I remember when it happened in 2015 and the game was very adamant about not paying this any attention. He thought it was too small to pay attention. He was like, this shit ain't going nowhere. You notice he called her a Waffle House roach and a thirsty ass, right? He was like, y'all been up here saying all this for 7 years that she got 7 million. I'm up here sipping and chilling, my 5th drink, on quarantine, watching XYZ on TV, just relaxing. My life is good. Now that they're reinforcing the judgment, I bet his life is not so good right now. Pay attention. I'll catch you all on the next video. I'm out. Peace.